From 7:30 tonight, comedy, action and suspense with brand new episodes of Who's the Boss, Growing Pains, Matlock and Mission Impossible.
Welcome to Midday Australia. Today, a Hollywood star whose dancing gyrations set the screen ablaze. Join us live for John Travolta. Also, highly nervous, madcap expectant father Doug Mulray, brilliant British ventriloquist Neville King, plus Bev Gledhill and top Irish vocal trio Barleycorn. And now, please welcome your host, Ray Martin.
Very much indeed. Woo! Only just made it then, didn't we? Only just... Nice to see you. Are you happy?
Yes!
Really enthusiastic about today?
Yes!
I guess what you're here to see Jeff Harvey, are you? Bob Buffalo? Me?
Yes!
Who are you really here to see? John Travolta. Please welcome John Travolta. Welcome. Did you bring all these women from New Jersey with you?
Yes, we booked the Qantas flight all together, and we arrived last night.
All from New Jersey, eh?
Yes,
well, nice to have you all here. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Terrific. We were just, part of the reason we were sort of, I was almost missed the start of the show. We were just reminiscing a moment ago. Some years ago, you may recall in my 60 Minutes days, I did a profile on Brian Brown. And there were four of us then, of course, George and Ian, Jan and myself on the program. And I did a profile on Brian Brown. And Brian Brown and John are great mates. And we went up to John's farm just north of Los Angeles, near President Reagan's farm. And we did a bit of a gag there. Have a look at this, just as a reminder. John Travolta and Brian Brown. Can you imagine these two together in an Australian-made movie? Robert Redford and Paul Newman eat your hearts out.
Just bloke fair dinkum.
There's four of them at home.
And it's on the cards.
3 men and a girl. And I get paid for doing this.
You're kidding.
A fair go on.
Yeah, that's good fun.
It was good fun. We did it about 4 times, and John was practicing his Australian accent that time. That was very good.
That was good.
Is this bloke fair dinkum?
Yeah.
Can you say it again?
Just bloke fair dinkum. Hey, that was fun. I hadn't seen that before.
We're going to show you that. We'll give you a look at the whole film with Browning. It was good fun. Now, given the fact that you and he are great mates, and Olivia Newton-John, of course, I mean, you obviously understand the Australian sense of humour, don't you? Even though you've not spent a lot of time here.
I suppose I do. I mean, you know, we all get along pretty well. But I got to be honest, I haven't seen Brian very much since he got married. And he's been pretty busy. He became a huge star. And
it had a couple of children. Is that what marriage does to you, John?
I guess so. I don't know. I ran into Tom Cruise and he said, "Oh, Brian loves you. He's crazy." I said, "Well, tell him to call me."
Brian, if you're watching, call. Call, John, for goodness sake. No, it's... You talked at that stage actually of doing a comedy together with Olivia Newton-John and Brian.
Yeah, actually we had developed one that we thought would be interesting, but then this other script came up that just Olivia and I did about a year later.
Which was?
Two of a Kind.
Two of a Kind, but you shot that in America, not in Australia.
Yeah, we did shoot it in the US. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe that's why Brownie didn't call you.
There you go.
John, your image was pretty much, I mean, you've built up over the years this sex symbol image, whether you liked it or not, with Saturday Night Fever and Urban Cowboy and so on. But it's quite clear that you enjoy comedy. You're talking about that and also this new movie.
I'm more comfortable with comedy. I mean, I get hired for dramas a lot, but I just have more fun doing comedies, you know.
Yeah, let's have a look at a clip from the many laugh spots in John's new movie. Have a look at this one. Were you really the class clown at school?
Yes, I was.
What did that involve?
Mostly smart aleck type stuff, you know, but I wish I had paid attention a little more.
How much of you, and welcome back, Cotter, how much was that you? How much of Vinny was John Travolta?
Well, I hope not too much. I mean, you know, the Cotter character was pretty dim-witted, so I like to think of myself a little smarter than that guy.
But certainly the larrikin, the clown getting after all...
Yes, sure.
All course. Now, you dropped out of school at 16?
Yes.
Why?
All right. Well, because I guess I wanted a career in showbiz.
Which has been reasonably successful up to now, hasn't it? One way or another. Let's just take a break. Stay with us, and we'll talk about this new movie that John has and the career in showbiz. Let's get the music though rolling on this show with a good mate of ours, Armando Hurley, and the classic sounds of Everlasting Love. Armando Hurley.
Hearts go astray, even her will let go. I went away just when you needed me so. Filled with regret, I come back begging you. For you forget, where's this love we once open up your heart, then you realize here I stand with my everlasting love. Need you by my side, girl, to be my bride. You'll never be denied everlasting love from the very start. Open up your heart, be a lasting part of everlasting love. True love will last Where life river flows, no one really knows till someone's there to show the everlasting love. Like the sun that shines, endlessly it shines. You always will be mine with eternal love. When other loves are gone, our love will be strong. You always will be mine with eternal love. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Open up your heart, then you realize here I stand with my everlasting love. Need you by my side, girl, to be my bride. You'll never be denied everlasting love from the very start. Open up your heart, be a lasting love, everlasting love.
Welcome back. Our special guest, of course, today is John Travolta. We're talking about John's new movie. Look Who's Talking is the name of the movie. John, I read somewhere that you said that nobody pushed me into this business, show business, that I was aching for it. What did you mean by that, aching for it?
Well, my mom was a drama teacher, and we were 6 kids in our family. And by the time it got to me, and I was the baby, she was tired of pushing, and I was really raring to go. So actually, I pushed myself.
Was
by
your
that
dad?
time.
What was your dad? Was he also in acting or music?
No, he was an athlete. He was a jock.
But I read as well that the sisters and brothers were actors. And
Yeah, they're all in the business. My sisters and brothers are all in the business.
Did you want to do nothing else apart from acting?
Well, I'm a jet pilot right now, and I always liked flying. And I thought if I didn't become an actor, I might become an airline pilot or something like that.
All right. Now actually, we mentioned you dropped out of school at 16, and then you sort of left New Jersey and went across the Hudson to New York to the big world.
Yeah, I did theater from the time of 12 years old till Cotter, which was 21. So I did about 9 years of theater before I ever did TV.
Which was what? What did you, on the road?
I did summer theater. I did off-Broadway, Broadway, and then I moved out to west to California to do movies.
And how did Welcome Back, Kotter come along? How did you actually get that?
I just auditioned for it like any other actor, you know, and it seemed to be the favorite for the part, screen tested, you know. and got the role. So it's funny, you can be around for many years and then suddenly you get a big job and then you are famous overnight.
Yes.
That's the way it works.
I guess most Australians, I mentioned that to you before, most Australians would think that you were an overnight success, that suddenly out of the blue comes Welcome Back, Kotter, but you
Yeah.
paid your dues.
I guess so. I mean, it was all pretty much on a gradient. And it's hard to even think of paying your dues in show business because it's so much fun that, you know, no matter how hard you work, you enjoy it. So
Yes.
it's sort of hard to think of, you know, paying dues, you know.
Saturday Night Fever comes along. Did you have any idea at that stage of the smash hit that was going
No,
to be?
no. We thought it was going to be a small art film.
Small art film. How does-
Funny.
Could you dance at that stage? How good a dancer are you?
Well, I'm probably what you call a natural talent at dancing. I did have some training, but I didn't. I wouldn't say I was one of these overtrained dancers. No.
Tell us who the training was by.
Well, there's a little bit by Fred Kelly, Gene Kelly's brother, Fred Kelly.
Did you know Gene Kelly had a brother named Fred? Who trained John? And so you'd again paid the dues in that area, that you'd been along, you'd been to dance school, been to acting school.
Yeah, if you want to call it dues, you go ahead and call it dues.
Or whatever it is, whatever it is. But fun there. In fact, it's interesting. The movie, Look Who's Talking, is of course about the baby and about John playing a role as a sort of proxy father. It's great fun right through, but it picks up another notch. It moves into another gear when you start to dance it again, which is interesting. So I understand the director was most anxious to somehow get John Travolta dancing.
Yeah, well, it was a female director, and her favorite movie was Saturday Night Fever, so she wrote this movie for me, and she thought it would be really sort of neat if I danced with a baby.
All right, well,
So that's her daydream.
we'll have a look at John dancing with a baby boy. Now, we can talk over this, John. That's,
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess there are some doctors or mums out there say you got to shake the kid's head off.
Well, believe it or not, I think he enjoyed shaking his own head.
There are scenes there, in fact, about halfway through where where you actually see the baby start to laugh and really get into it. But how long did it take to film that?
Well, that only took a couple of days, but we prepared for a few weeks for it because the kid had to be used to the steps we were doing, you know. So he got almost trained where when I did this, he would do that, you know, that kind of thing. So.
And how old was he there?
He's just under 2.
Just under 2, yeah. But again, even for a couple of days, if you think of a kid, understand an adult having to go through the routine from 15 different angles. But
Well, I sort of grew up taking care of kids. My sisters and brothers had like 10 kids, so I was very familiar with bringing up kids. So I had a high tolerance, and if the kid got hungry, I'd say let's just, you know, call it and let him eat. Or if he got tired, you know, we would.
We just saw the sight gag where he takes off the wig.
Oh yeah. Or we would have him take a nap, you know, if he got tired. So.
How many babies did you use in this, John?
4. There were 2 of the older child and 2 of the infant.
And in fact, I read that you both went and you actually saw a live birth before.
Well, that was interesting because by accident there was a woman having a baby.
By accident.
I'm not sorry,
Some accident.
by coincidence, wrong word. By coincidence, there was this woman having a baby next to us, and she was very generous and kind to let us use the newborn baby in this scene. There he is. And he's about a minute old there.
In fact, the umbilical cord is still there, and in the film you see them cut the umbilical cord.
That's right.
Now you backed away from that. Why?
Well, because I don't know her, and I don't even know why I'm sitting in this room watching a baby people. You know? And she thinks I'm one of the doctors, you know.
It looked like fun. I mean, you mentioned that the very idea that someone would write a script and want to direct it with you is a great courtesy and flattery, I guess, of you. But it looked like fun to actually shoot.
Oh, it was the easiest job I've ever had. But, you know, I always noticed that the more effortless something is, sometimes the more effective it is. And we just had fun on that movie, and it showed, and obviously the audiences liked it, you know, because we were having fun. And it's a happy movie, you know. It makes you feel good when you leave the theater.
Well, how do you feel about that then? That obviously at this stage, certainly in Australia with an election and various things going on, people do want to badly need to feel good. I saw it on Sunday at a preview, and people left the place smiling. Do you think are we overdue to get those sorts of movies?
Well, I think they happen only a few times a year, and when they do happen, you know, it's something the whole family can go to and enjoy together, and that's a nice thing.
I read that it's made $132 million up to now in the States.
In the States.
Again, I'm like Saturday Night Fever. Could you possibly have thought it would do that?
We never predicted this kind of success from it. Really, we didn't. But none of my big hits I ever predicted. Maybe Grease a little bit, because it was a successful musical before I'd done the movie.
Yeah.
But you never know, you know.
Had you... I'm just looking at that. We're looking at a shot from Grease again. But do you have a favourite one, John? Is there a movie that... Is that like asking about a favourite child, I guess?
Well, I think that Look Who's Talking and Grease are the most fun to watch of all the movies I've ever done. They're the easiest to watch. And then the others get into more sort of dramatic art forms or whatever.
Yeah. I read as well that, in fact, that An Officer and a Gentleman was written for you.
Yeah.
And you passed it up.
Pass that up.
And along came Richard Gere.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it Splash as well that was written?
Splash, oh, there's a lot of them I turned down. You know, I'm not very career-driven, though. You know, I usually like to live my life and give it equal importance. I like my family and friends, and then I move on and do my movies when the right one comes along. But if I turn down a movie, it's usually because I'm doing something interesting in my own life.
Which is mainly flying now, I take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to fly almost every day.
And do you have your own jet or just a license?
No, I have two. I have a Learjet, yeah, and I have a license.
And what do you fly to Europe or fly around the States? Or?
Oh, I fly almost everywhere.
You didn't fly down here?
Oh, I wanted to, but I think it was just easier and quicker to take Qantas.
Was that all right?
Sure.
We just wanted to check on that. Now, what next then, after this, after promoting?
Oh, next?
Yes, for you.
Well, I have another movie coming out called Chains of Gold, coming out right after Look Who's Talking. And then I'll do the sequel to Look Who's Talking in June.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
And there was talk of also doing a third of the Tony Manaro.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. You keep that in your back pocket when you get a little bored and you want to dance again. You say, well, let's do Tony Manaro.
There was a period, though, when you, in fact, when we didn't hear much about you, when the career seemed to dip publicly. Did you worry about that?
No, because I was pretty busy during that time. It just takes so long to get a product out nowadays. It took me 2 years to get 4 movies lined up, and then I did all 4 movies, and only one of them's come out so far. And there were 3 are about to come out. So it's just a little different nowadays than it was 10 years ago.
Oh, with a bit of luck, we might see you out here promoting the other 3 shortly.
You
Yeah. How long are you staying in Australia?
Till Saturday.
All right, terrific. Now, I've got a note there saying that Brian Brown wants John to phone on this number. We've got his number, that he'd love to hear from you again.
Hey, all
there
right.
You go. So we've done that. We've reunited
Hey,
a couple
all
of old mates. Thanks, John, very much indeed. The movie is terrific fun, called Look Who's Talking, with the voice of Bruce Willis. We didn't mention that, playing the baby's voice, which is a very funny idea. And it's great fun. You should see it, and we thank you for giving us the time.
My pleasure.
Would you please thank John for that?
Thank you.
I guess I should have asked all these people. Did all you people from New Jersey enjoy your Qantas trip out here as well? I'd like to too. Okay. Well, please enjoy Australia, won't you? All right, from the dashing good looks of this bloke to Doug Mulray. He's next. Well, now, I'm delighted with our next guest. More baby talk, if you can believe. To be precise, a double baby talk. My next guest is an expectant dad on red alert at the moment. His twins are due, or at least his ladies' twins are due in any tick of the clock as he counts down to D-Day. That's diaper day, by the way. Would you please welcome Sydney's #1 radio announcer, 2 Triple M's, Doug Mulray.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Doug. Australia's Father-to-Be of the Year. Can you give us a quick update?
I beg your pardon?
Could you tell us how the plan is going? Where are we up to?
Well, because both of the babies are presenting feet down.
What does that mean, Dr. Mulray?
Well, it means that normally we have, with a singleton, which I think is a very funny word, don't
Singleton?
you? Yeah.
That's one baby.
They turn this... Look, I'll show you.
Oh, why not?
They turn this way so that they engage like this. Although I think that it's too young to be engaged, but there you are. And then they progress. Now, a breech birth is when they present body down, like so. You're getting a good shot of this. There we are. Doot, 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 doot. It's all right, I'm an expectant father. And then you get the additional complication of feet down, which is what we have at the moment, which means if the tube goes in first after the water breaks, they can tread on it and actually asphyxiate themselves. So they have to be delivered by cesarean, and that will happen on Friday.
Are you ready for this, Dr. Mulray?
No. Do you like my new look, by the way?
What is the new look?
I've gone to a lot of trouble. It's sort of a Lennon sort of look. But, you know...
Lennon was about 20 years ago.
John Lennon?
Oh.
Yeah.
Not...
I still remember him fondly. He's not using them anymore, so I thought, why not? I needed a new look, Ray, because you've got a new look, haven't you?
Have I really?
I love this boyish haircut. I really do.
It's a different wig, that's all.
Haircut, wig. I'd like to see it with a scout hat on top of it, though. A Cubs hat, a little green Cubs hat with a yellow braid.
And a toggle?
Dib, dib, dib. Do you know the hat?
I do indeed.
Do you do it for me, then?
I don't know the full verse, but is it just the three, is it? Yeah.
I don't know. I was a Seb.
You're a girl guy.
No, Church of England Boys Society.
Oh, really?
Which is why I can afford to make all those really ugly Catholic jokes on the radio. Have you heard our new song?
What's your new song?
Janie's Not a Nun. It's a version of the Aerosmith song. I'll send you a copy. You'll have hours of pleasure. What, No, I can't embarrass you.
Anything you like. Listen, are you, so all the plans are, that we're on red alert, so the go button is about to be pressed.
I think that was pressed about 9 months ago, actually.
And you will be there at the birth. You haven't decided that you want to go overseas or anything like that?
No. I may want to go overseas after the event. I mean, all that perky blood and stuff. But, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's the most exciting thing I've ever experienced. And I'm looking forward to experiencing it again, in stereo.
Can you... and you think you can handle the pain?
Yes, I should be okay. I mean, I've gone through this sympathetic pregnancy, as you can see. I've been putting on pounds and pounds. In my case, it's only the chocky bars, but Elizabeth wasn't able to convince the doctor that that was her situation, no.
Well, Miss Lizzie is well.
She's well. Okay. She's great with child. She was great without child, but she's great with child. She's great with children.
All right.
She's enormous, in fact. She's rock hard. She's like the Bond blimp without the logo. Hello, darling, I love you. You huge woman, you.
Now, listen...
You're not going to ask me about sex in late stages of pregnancy, are you?
No.
That's a pity. Because she's been fantastic. It's... I mean, you know, it's very round. So you sort of end up looking like one of those little things that dips in the water, you know, dips in the glass of water. You've seen them in the shop windows, like that. And kissing is out.
Kissing's out?
Unless you get involved in a bit of father's favourite. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea. No idea. With this scout hat on, how can I possibly know what you mean?
Off we go to Melbourne. Dib, dib, dib.
No,
You don't know the Masonic handshake?
No, do you?
You don't know nothing.
No, I'm pretty... I just sort of stay here.
You know how to change a nappy?
5 years ago, I did, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got it all here. We're going to test both of us. Should be good.
This is the Doug Mulray show, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Have I been taking over again?
You go right in.
I'm such a forceful thing. Now I'm really embarrassed.
We did know last time that you were possibly having...
No, take these off because it blocks my beautiful, sparkling, dancing eyes.
That's right. In fact, I thought you and John Travolta had...
We bumped into each other out the back there, you know, ladies and gentlemen, on the way, and no word of a lie, and we were shocked. That moment when we thought we were looking into a mirror, but no. We're both very interested in fatherhood. I was showing him some of the things you can do with these wonderful nappies. They can
I guess you'd determine...
Wonderful fashion accessories. I've been keeping these around me, Ray, because it's conditioning me for the event, you see. I'm a very cynical 38-year-old man, and I need to be acquainted with some of the things that I'm going to be using in the very near future. And this is one of those unfortunate realities with which we fathers are confronted. And the conditioning's been excellent. I feel comfortable around these things now. I don't mind having them near me. They're soft and they're hygienic and beautifully perfumed, but and it rubbed my makeup off.
You sure? Are you sure that's only makeup?
It is only makeup, yes, but that's the look we're looking for. Not nearly as convincing, though, as some of the other materials I've brought along.
Oh, what?
For expectant fathers, I find if you just put a bit of peanut butter on them, that can make them look very, very realistic indeed. If you leave some of those lying around the house, like this, ladies, for the expectant father, he'll be well and truly able to cope by the time the happy event comes along.
Oh,
You'll notice the consistency here.
No, I don't think we really have to do that.
Now, that's the smoothie.
No,
moving
right along.
And here's the crunchy. For the crunchy for when the kids get a little older.
Now, this is part of the aversion therapy, is it?
Yes, yes, yes. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Pain, pain, pain. If you get your expectant father... to handle these, ladies, with a bit of peanut butter, then I promise you, You need to give him a reward. You don't take it away from me. They can't take that away from me.
I think we got the picture. We got the picture, don't we? Good. So what are we up to now? What else do we have in this bag of tricks? Nice little shopping bag, yeah.
That's my Weller bag. I take that with me everywhere. I'm hoping to start a trend, but it doesn't look like happening just yet. This is a very important accessory.
I certainly recommend this to all expectant fathers, Ray.
All right, let's give us a demonstration. Here we go. The baby is...
Oh, not the ones you have to fold.
Yes, yes.
Oh, my God. So this is the baby?
The baby girl. And what are their names?
Well, we thought as a tribute to the greatest living Australian, we'd call the little boy Leonard and the little girl Teal. Isn't that nice? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. No, the little girl...
So we do know the sex.
The little girl... Isn't this dreadful? God! When I was a boy, you know, there were Barbie dolls. And they didn't have genitalia, which is pretty disappointing because I was 19 at the time. The little girl will be...
No, that's the little boy. Yeah, that's the little girl.
Oh!
Yeah.
See? He's a man of the world.
Scout. Boy Scout.
Dib, dib, dib.
Dib, dib, dib.
The little girl will be Rosemary K. Mulray. And the little boy will be... now, what did we decide? Thomas Reed Mulray. Thomas Reed and Rosemary Kay. They're very distinctive names, Ray. You were supposed to react very positively and say, that's wonderful, and you're delighted.
I was about to say,
These
why?
people were supposed to go, ooh and ah, and now the bum's out of the whole... The bum's out of the whole thing. I've got a lady at home who'll be very depressed by that lack of response.
Do we like those names? The girl's name? What was the... Rosemary...
Rosemary Kay.
Rosemary Kay? Oh, yes.
And Thomas Reed. You don't like Thomas Reed?
Could we do a quick change?
That's it. I'm out of here. A personal insult on national television.
Well, we'll talk about what I'm having in a moment. I'm having a heart attack. Would you please thank... Would you please thank Doug Mulray for us?
Thank you.
We're gone. We'll see you in a moment. Welcome back. We'll almost get back to normal now, I think. Tough 2 acts to follow. Now, you wouldn't expect a mechanic's car to break down or a plumber's tap to leak or a dentist's teeth to fall out. So what's a heart specialist doing having a heart attack? Let's talk to Dr. Robert Cutforth. I guess you get the gist of what I was saying there.
I sure do.
I guess anyone can have a heart attack, but of all people, you should have been forewarned.
Well, it knocked me right off my perch, and I wasn't forewarned. And, in fact, I'd just finished swimming 15 laps in my pool and clambered out and started to towel down. And I thought, I don't know, that's funny. Got this nasty feeling here. And within about 3 minutes, being a heart specialist, I knew exactly what was happening to me.
Now, that's pretty rare, isn't it, Robert? That,
Yeah.
in fact, most people tend to say, no, it's indigestion or I've just...
Oh, yes. Make any excuse, like we all do about everything we don't like. You know, it doesn't happen to me. It happens to you, him, up the road or whatever. And... however, I suppose it was my special knowledge that told me, yes, there's no argument about that, lad. You'd better do something about it.
How did you know it wasn't simply just indigestion?
Oh, listen, I've listened to people talking to me about heart attack for 30 years.
But you never had one?
No, I've never had one, but I've kind of thought about it. And what happens is you get this pain which gets worse and worse and is a gripping, hard, horrible pain, indescribable, of course. Sometimes goes up the neck, sometimes goes down your arms. And... it's characteristic. Everybody describes more or less the same thing.
Yes.
And this is what was happening to me.
You say in the book, Robert's written a book called What It's Really Like, Heart Attack, a user's guide, which is interesting. It's a user's guide only when you start to think there are 39,000 Australians die every year as heart attacks. So it's twice as common as cancer.
50,000 heart attacks a year.
All right, so, but you say in the book that most people actually wait from 3 to 6 hours putting it off, going to the doctor.
They all put it off. Really, practically everybody puts it off. They say, oh, it's indigestion, or it's muscle pain from grubbing out that big tree root last night, or it's those kangaroo patties, or whatever it was you've had. And they say, well, I'll make a glass of milk, or I'll have a cup of tea, or I'll ring Auntie Flo, or whatever. And the time rolls by. Now, all the horrible things that are likely to happen in a heart attack, or at least most of them, happen in the first hour. So if you're going to have a rhythm problem, or if you're going to drop dead, that's when you drop dead. The place to be when you drop dead is in coronary care, where they can resurrect you. So if you wait about until you drop dead at home, well, you never get to coronary care. That's the first thing. So really the thing to do, and actually if I have any message from that book at all, it is to say, if you have the type of pain which I've just described, and it lasts more than 10 minutes, pick up the telephone, ring the ambulance, and get into coronary care. They don't mind if you turn up and it's something else, but if you have got a heart attack and you don't turn up, well, there's nothing they can do for you.
And I take it that you were as lean and healthy
yes, just
then?
all that, and worse.
Cholesterol, etc.?
Cholesterol 4.2, non-smoker, reasonably fit and slim and all that.
Well, you're the expert, Robert. Why? Why did you...
Well, the thing is that, in a way, it's the luck of the draw. After all, no matter what you do with your cholesterol and your smoking, you can't buy immortality. Something's going to happen to you sooner or later, and it is just the luck of the draw. But what you can do, you can manipulate your risk factors. In fact, it's the only thing you can do to improve your chances is to manipulate your risk factors. I have manipulated my risk factors for the last 20 years. And my colleagues, when I grumbled and whinged about having a heart attack, as indeed it's not fair and all this stuff, they said, yeah, well, hold on a bit. If you'd been a fat, lazy smoker and all this business, you might have had your heart attack 10 years ago. You'd probably be dead by now. So I bought myself a few more years.
Yes.
Quite a few, I hope.
Yes. Now, again, that's part of the reason for writing the book is buying it. Now, what should... let's say the victim, it happens in the house, and I guess there are a lot of people watching who are now at the vulnerable age at this program. Get the husband or the wife in the car, or the dad in the car, or ring the ambulance.
Well, you want to be careful about getting people in the car. Just picture to yourself that you are driving a friend who's having a heart attack across the Sydney Bridge, and he has a cardiac arrest. You're in real trouble then. So if you go in the car, take another person with you as well as the patient. Best thing to do is to ring the ambulance. The worst possible thing to do is to drive yourself, because then when you have your cardiac arrest, you'll take a few more with you.
But you're also suggesting that it's not simply a matter of like artificial respiration. It's not that you believe that if you're living with someone who is vulnerable, a candidate, then get some practice in what you've got to do.
I think, well, the thing is this, that if you're going to be able to perform heart-lung resuscitation, the only thing that can help you if you've had a cardiac arrest is to maintain the blood flow to the brain. And the only way you can do that is by efficient cardiopulmonary resuscitation or heart-lung resuscitation.
So thumping on the chest and
thumping on the chest
and
kicking them and patting their hands and all the shouting at them, and that is useless. So you've got to learn to do it, and you've got to learn to do it properly, and the only way you can do that is by going to a class of some sort where they can teach you on a mannequin exactly whether you're doing it properly or not.
All right, and I guess the last line, as a result of the book, the last line is that life isn't over after a heart attack necessarily.
Certainly is not. No, no way. Look, 85% or more of people recover from their heart attacks and get back to work. People don't realise that.
Pretty basic stuff, but no one's written a book before, and here it is out. What It's Really Like, Heart Attack, a User's Guide by Dr. Robert Cutforth. We thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
We wish you 30 or 50 more years.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Thanks, Rob. Would you please thank Dr. Cutforth? All right, what sounds... how much is that? $10.99. $10.95 it is. There you go. $10.95. With sounds... Start again. With sounds smoother than a glass of Guinness, Irish folk trio Barleycorn are back down under, back to visit us. For a series of concerts, you can catch them at the Illawarra Catholic Club. You can catch them in Maitland and at Twin Towns for St Patrick's Day. Today, though, you can catch them right here. Would you please welcome Barleycorn with We the People. Barleycorn.
Hand in hand, we the people understand that there's an answer, there's a way. We the people have to say, so send the orders to prepare, that we the people do declare. Send the good news, send the word, we the people will be heard. People everywhere, there's a message in the air, it's moving across the land. If you listen, you can hear it well, my friend. We know the time has come to take our heads out of the sand. If we don't, the chance might never come again. The future is the reason, not in building ways of war. And the time has come for reason to be heard. The purpose of the people's what this declaration's for. And it's why our fathers told us word for word. We the people hand in hand. We the people understand that there's an answer, there's a way. We the people have to say. So send the orders to prepare. That we the people do declare. Send the good news, send the word. We the people will be heard. We the people everywhere. We won't accept excuses, we won't accept the lies of those who lead our nations into hell. It's time to call their bluff, to say to them enough's enough. Time we all could hear the tolling of the bell. It's time to feed the hungry, it's time to heal the pain. It's time to beat our weapons into clouds. It's time to hear the voices that have risen once again. It's the wisdom of the people, clear and loud, singing proud. We the people hand in hand. We the people understand that there's an answer, there's a way. We the people have to say. So send the orders to prepare. That we the people do declare. Send the good news, send the word. We the people will be heard. We the people everywhere. We the people hand in hand. We the people understand that there's an answer, there's a way. We the people have to say. So send the orders to prepare. That we the people do declare. Send the good news, send the word. We the people will be heard. We the people everywhere. We the people everywhere.
Wow, this will knock your socks off. The British Daily Express quoted our next guest as being several floors removed from the traditional ventriloquist act. The reviewer said the audience is too busy laughing to be watching if his mouth happens to be moving. Would you please welcome back to Australia Neville King with the senior partner of the team, Old Boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce myself as the only underwater acrobatic ventriloquist. Now, the idea of this act is that I've got two chucks in this box. Now, you must listen. I've not got much of an actor with a lot of guts. Now, if you don't understand what I do, I've got leaflets that you can probably pass these. Now, the idea is... Sit! Now, the dingo that I've got in the act comes out. Dingo. Now, keep them quiet, will you? I can't work like this. Now, the dingo comes out, sits on the chair, you see, that's what happens. And the two chucks, I open the box, out the box. Right. Now, what actually happens... I've got to get out the... I'm telling them all about the act. Yes. Now, my partner gets out of the box. Sit, you damn thing! Sit! As he's on the chair, chucks out the box. There, a New Zealand lamb starts to move from this side. There, two New Zealand lambs. Listen, for God's sake, listen. Two New Zealand lambs, dog on the chair, comes out the box. Annika, that's my sister. Now, she comes out with a 64-inch bust. She crawls on the floor and tries to stand up. Thank you. Right, so here we go then. I'll get you out, mate. Leave the horse off. Now this, told you not to bring him on. There, 3 New Zealand lambs. An extra chuck. There we go. A bit of Yorkshire music. This guy comes from Sheffield. No, it's not Yorkshire music. No, I say, check. No, that's not Yorkshire music. Get out this, Danny. You may not get out of this. Good night. I've had enough of this, Danny. What are you doing? I'm Australian. You're not Australian. You're British. You should be proud to be British. You pommy bastard. Unless I'm telling you. You talk to me like that, mate. I'm Australian. OK, you're Australian. Right then. Come on then. What I'll do is I'll go into a cascade of magic. I know where they're going. Finished! OK, boy, let's do it. Oh, Spanish eyes, teardrops are falling from your Spanish eyes. For you and your Spanish eyes will wait for me. Keep going, don't stop. Take that stupid hat off! You Tommy, get out! Everybody walk down there, let us finish. Got this. You're sticking it in the eye! Show me the way to go home. It's not foot in that. Untied and easily. You will always sing in that door. Waltzing a dildo. Waltzing a dildo. You got to keep practicing in my game. You gonna... He could be an Aussie. Waltzing a dildo. You got to keep practicing in my game. Good day.
Welcome back. Bob Hawke and Andrew Peacock at least agree on... sorry, before I go to that, let me just mention Neville King, whom we had on a moment ago, the ventriloquist, opens tomorrow at Tweed Heads Bowls Club. Tweed Heads Bowl Club for 1 week, then 4 weeks back in Sydney. And we'd hope to have him back on the show. Neville King is very good, isn't he? Very good indeed. All right, let's get back. The Bob Hawke and Andrew Peacock at least agree on one thing, that your vote on March the 24th will decide who will govern Australia for the next 3 years. They are both saying that a vote for an independent is a wasted vote.
These small parties and single-issue candidates are minority viewpoints. They cannot actually form a government. In fact, they don't even hope or plan to.
Well, I think a vote for a political party is a wasted vote. It's really a vote for careerists, corruption, cronyism, and in fact a failed political system. I think the political system in this country is changing, and it's got to change. And it doesn't really matter who wins on November the 24th. I think the voters are going to lose.
All right. Well, Ted Mack, we should say, if you don't know, is an architect and a local legend in North Sydney, which is the electorate he's standing in, ex-mayor of North Sydney and a state member of Parliament for North Sydney. He's standing as an independent once again. John Baker is with us as well. He's a school teacher who is standing for the Greens, the environmentalists in Macquarie, which is the electorate up in the Blue Mountains of New South Wales. Would you please welcome both Ted and John? It's quite clear, gentlemen, that you and Janine Haynes and other independents have the both major parties worried. But, Ted, what about that line from Mr Hawke, that it's clear you are not out to form a government, are you?
No, but I guess I'm part of a change that's occurring in politics that started probably 10 or 15 years ago that is gradually going to change the political system in this country. Certainly, I personally am not going to form a government.
John Spender...
Unless, of course, it gets very close.
Well, if it gets very close, we've spoken to Janine Haynes about this, if it gets very close, people like you and Janine, and perhaps John or other independents, could be the balance of power.
Yeah, but, well, when you say balance of power, remember, a lot of people say that's not a very reasonable position, and I personally don't think any one independent should exercise power outside their authority, if you like. But remember, an independent's got no power unless one of the major parties supports what they're saying.
All right, let me just quote from John Spender, who's the member in what has been a blue ribbon seat, the seat of North Sydney, for the Liberal Party, and he's an ex-Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs. John Spender said in this letter that he sent around the electorate, this election is not about the politics of good feeling, it is about the politics of being effective. Now, you may... soothe people who are disenchanted by voting for someone like you two, but it's not about good feelings, it's about getting power, isn't it?
It's about being effective, and I think that is the issue. Is Labor effective? Is Mr Peacock going to be effective? All the evidence the public's got over the last 15 to 20 years is nothing much is going to change.
All right, John, on your side then, I mean, Bob Hawke says that the Labor government has saved the Daintree, they've saved Kakadu, they've stopped Wesley Vale, they saved the Franklin. Isn't that good enough for you?
No. All too often it's been cynical vote grabbing on the eve of an election, and people want more than that today. They realise that their environment is under threat and that we need dedicated representatives to protect and nurture the environment.
But what can you do? I mean, the news out today is that the Greenies generally are going to give their preferences to Labor, so isn't a vote for you a wasted vote?
No, I don't think so, Ray, because a vote for one of the major party candidates is a vote for the interests of that party rather than an independent such as myself who is able to represent the interests of their electors.
You know, again, no offence meant, but you know the image of Greenies and many things that they do around the country is basically the rat-bagged fringe of politics. I mean, do we need the rat-bagged fringe, with inverted commas, do we need that in Parliament?
I don't think we need that. I think a lot of what people have seen has been media attention seeking. Sometimes it is very difficult to get the attention of the media, and so they come up with political gimmicks to try and attract attention. But I think most ordinary Australians are interested in protecting the environment, and the swing has gone around to the independents as people who are genuinely going to do that for them.
Ted, you can be principled, as you have been, as a mayor and also as a state member, but finally you're whistling in the wind, aren't you? Isn't it all about... I mean, in many cases, it doesn't even matter if you're a member of the Labor Party or the Liberal Party as a local member. Unless you're in caucus or cabinet, you don't count, do you?
Yes, you do, because you see, as an independent, I've got much greater access to the media than any backbencher of either Labor or Liberal. And, of course, ultimately, it's public opinion that counts. I mean, Bob Hawke didn't save the Daintree, public did. It was only public attitudes changed. Because the way change occurs in our society, it's a result of public opinion, which is formed by many different interest groups and by the media. Really, today, politicians just follow. They don't lead.
I was going to say, couldn't someone get more action if they rang John Laws or Jan Event or Darren Hinch or a newspaper or a television station?
They certainly can.
They get more from a local member, wouldn't they?
Yeah. They certainly can.
So why don't you simply say, as you've done in the past, when you gave up the mayoral Mercedes and gave up your pension, etc., why don't you simply say, well, no, I'll just abandon it?
Well, I think somebody's got to make the breach, and as I say, I'm just part of a change in the system, just like John Hatton was at the state parliament level, and now there are 7 independents in the New South Wales Parliament. If John Hatton hadn't have got elected back in the 70s, and I hadn't have got elected 10 years ago, there wouldn't be 7 today. Now, the political system is changing. The upper houses of both state and federal are not controlled by the parties and never will be again. We've now got in Tasmania the first lower house changing. It's not dominated by either political party, and that's going to occur in New South Wales at the next state election.
There are quite a few commentators right now, apart from Bob Hawke and Andrew Peacock, who are saying it is a wasted vote, voting for independence, that for all the reasons we've given. But do you see it as someone simply saying, as voters saying, look, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore with the two parties?
A certain percentage, but really the real underlying thing is what I call the ethic of participation. Now, that started about 20 years ago.
What does that mean?
And what that means is that people today want to have a right to say in any decision that affects them. They're no longer prepared to hand over their rights to Andrew Peacock or to Bob Hawke for the next 3 years. They want to have a say. Now, that started with the resident action movement, the consumer movement, shareholder activism, workers' participation, and it's happening in Eastern Europe, it's happening in South Africa. You see, the political system's not set in concrete eternally. It's gradually changing. The party system was pretty good for Australia for about 50 years, but now we're gradually going to move into something else.
Well, what about those who say that if people like you get in to the lower house where power is wielded, that in fact what you'll do is destabilise? At least we may not like either group, but we've got a fairly stable government in Australia.
I think we're able to represent people, and that's what's most important. We are in a position where we aren't bound to the party policy, where we aren't bound to the interests of the party first, where we can put the interests of people first. I find as an independent candidate, groups of residents coming to me with their problems, not to their local member, because they realise that local members aren't representing their interests anymore.
Can I just ask the audience very quickly, I mean, do you know your local member? Does anyone here know their local member? Do you? You do? Okay, you know him personally?
Her.
Or her?
Yes.
Her, that's good. It's a good start. All right, now, would you think of going to your local Member of Parliament if you wanted something done, or would you ring John Laws or Jana Vent or someone?
I'd go to the local member.
Local member.
Yeah.
What about the others? I mean, that's only 3 people out of a whole audience here. No one else? You've gone to your local member? What did they do?
I was over a third-party case,
Yes.
not getting through.
Was that a state member or federal?
That was a state member.
All right, I just wonder, let's come back to you then, Ted. I mean, you're both trying for the federal house. I mean, really, in essence, what can a federal member do if he's not in cabinet? Does he really have any say if it's a Labor Party or the Liberal Party?
As I said, he can take up issues that the party members won't touch because their party executives won't let them. He's got access to the media to influence public opinion. But most of all, you see, every good thing that's happened in this world's history started off as a minority idea. Now, if you're going to say, I won't vote for any minority idea, well, you're just going to stop progress totally. Because you've got to start somewhere. And I hope to be the one to start in federal parliament.
Well, if you do it, and certainly the polls indicate that you are going to do it, that'll be the first independent in 25 years.
Well, the first real grassroots independent who wasn't a dropout from one of the parties.
Yes, all right. Well, we wish you both well.
Thank you very
Ted.
much.
Thank you, John, very much indeed. Would you please thank me? And after break, Bev Gledhill is going to announce details of a competition to encourage Aussie inventors. That's that. Welcome back. I guess the last word on the independence that we've just spoken to is that there shouldn't be any politician in Australia who actually lives in what's called a safe seat, whether it's Liberal or Labor. It tends to breed complacency, doesn't it?
Oh, I agree.
When they are safe seats. All right, they say big things arise out of small beginnings. The Hills Hoist, for example, was born out of very humble beginnings in an Adelaide shack by Mr. Toynes. The hoist went on to fame and fortune, never dreamed of by its maker, and became a monument almost to Aussie inventiveness. Well, if you're a budding inventor, Bev Gledhill is here with some terrific news. Please welcome Bev.
Hi, Ray.
Hi, Bev. It is good news, isn't it?
This really is great news. You know, ever since the inventors and What'll They Think of Next went off air, there's been nothing for inventors to show their ideas on air. So we're going to run a competition for the Australian Invention of the Year. It's going to happen in May, but I want all those people out there to start making things and getting them ready right now.
Because we get letters now unsolicited. People we pass on to you.
What do I do next?
What do I do?
Okay, so what we want is you to get your invention and to send in a letter with your name and address, description of the invention and a photograph of the invention. Please don't send the invention yet, it's a bit early. The competition will be in May and it'll run for 4 weeks, and Bain and Company, the investment people, have given us $1,000 for the invention of the year and $500 for the most novel invention.
Right.
So that's what we're going to do. Start getting ready and get those letters coming in because
do we have an address?
Yes,
there we go.
The Australian Inventor of the Year, the Midday Show, Post Office Box 99, Willoughby 2068.
Okay, the Inventor of the Year, Midday Show, Post Office Box 99. So the same post office, but title it the Inventor of the Year on the front. Okay, and in May we'll get down to that. $1,000 and $500. That's pretty good. I guess so many of those that you bring out here have been some woman or man who simply said, "Look, this seems like a good idea."
And what do I do next? And it really is very, very hard because they need somebody to see it, somebody to say, "Hey, I can make that." You know, so you've got your invention. And there we go.
What do we have?
On
Hey, I
that,
can make that.
There was a company director in Melbourne who had an accident, fell down, broke his arm. Have you ever had a broken limb?
No,
Oh, I have.
Touch wood.
Oh, right. And the problem is when you go to have a shower, because you've got to keep the plaster out of water or it'll get mouldy and nasty. Now, some people resort to plastic garbage bags, but this guy brought out special things and you put it over your plaster cast and it comes with rubber bands. They come in packets, so it's cast and bandage dry. And that's
one for your leg as well.
One for your leg. There you are. Or you can hang it up as a Christmas stocking in between times. But it's a fantastic idea. Have anyone had a broken arm or leg? And you know how difficult
Got one
it is?
now.
Shower.
Oh, really?
That's
A leg?
exactly what you need.
Just
it's
what
so
you need.
difficult in the shower because it really gets yucky if it gets wet. And they're, I think, $4.99 for a pack of 5.
Clever idea.
Really good idea.
Might have gone close to our prize.
Well, he's already on the market.
He's on the market.
He's
No, we
on the
can't count
market.
that. Well, that's interesting, yeah.
Now, this one, this is the most super little camera. I've got to show you. I've got to turn it on there and onto auto there. This is a little camera that takes video pictures. So what we do is, just a minute.
This is the interesting part.
Yeah, Ben Bev works out if she can operate it. Why isn't one showing?
Get a teenager.
Yeah,
Get a child.
It should be showing. Maybe it doesn't show one until I've taken it. So I'll take a photograph of you. Now, have I got one in the thing? I don't know why I'm not getting a number in this. Wonder if I take one of there. I'm just going to have to go on talking about this because for some reason I put the battery in and it's gone flat, I think.
Well, okay, let's move. We'll move on, and we'll
I'll
just.
tell you what it is.
We'll come back to that.
Okay. No, I'm just going to have to tell you about it because
Okay.
I put a new battery in upstairs and I think what's happened is the battery's gone flat.
Let someone have a look at it. Well, why don't we move on?
Okay.
Timmy, just have a look at that, see if you can change the
find
battery.
get the battery working. Okay, in the meantime, this is a frameless chair. Now, it is a fantastic idea. If you're going to the football or going fishing, all you do is take your Nada chair. Now, what you do...
Frameless chair.
Now, imagine you're sitting on a really hard bench at the footy, and you put that around your knees, and you tighten it up.
You could be arrested for that.
It's incredibly comfortable. All your weight, and it holds you nice and straight, so you're sitting at the footy with a nice backrest instead of getting tired. Do you want to try it?
Well, a good idea, right?
Yeah, it really is super.
Is this an Aussie invention?
No, actually, this is an imported one.
Right.
Round your back
Right.
and loop it over your knees.
Got to be a contortionist.
That might be a bit short for you.
we
Yeah.
go.
It is ridiculously comfortable. You can use it if you're sitting cross-legged because the same thing, you put it round there so you can take it camping or fishing. It is...
Rock yourself off to sleep.
Yeah, it's $50 and I reckon for any person who's going to sporting things, it's a must.
All right, we now have batteries. We're now on
Thank
a
you
go
very much.
mode with
Thank
the camera.
you very much. Did you
And how
find
much is this? The $50 you said?
Yep, okay. Thanks very much for that.
Called Nada Chair Backsling.
Right. Take one. Okay, I won't play around and go on to take 2. I'll go
Made
back
noise.
to play
Yeah.
and rewind. It's all very well for you, but this is... I'm not a child, you realise. It's counting down. You see, there are 50 pictures on this, and I can take 50 pictures and...
Plug it into the TV and keep your fingers crossed.
Well, I don't know what's wrong. These Canon people are going to hate me.
Isn't
We
this
had it
great?
working before.
Isn't this great? Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I normally say get a man. That's when I do it wrong.
Yep, I'm just going to have to leave it.
Well, let's do the next one, and Tim will work it out because Tim's a real man.
There you are, Tim. See if you can get a picture on the screen.
Come on, Tim. It's up to you. Your job depends on
Look,
this.
just let me tell you about it. It works on a floppy disk instead of a film. It's 100 years since the box brownie came out. This is the video one. You can actually get a print from it. You can get prints from a laser copier. But basically, you put 50 pictures on a floppy disk.
Right.
So you can go shoot, 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 shoot. And one of the clever things is you can take 50 pictures of the baby and choose the one you want. Then you can go and copy over all the others.
Go over the rest. Well, it's just
it'll
like a videotape.
It'll cost you $1,300, and when you get it working,
How much?
it is fantastic.
When you get it working.
It
And it's
really
guaranteed to work.
Terribly, terribly simple.
Made by Canon and sells for $1,300.
Yeah, and we had it working beautifully, and I was going to show you what a snap it was to work.
We'll get it back after the jukebox. We're going to take a break. These things happen on live television. There you go. But don't forget the competition. Write to us on that, and we'll see if we can get that picture after the break. But after the break, we'll have the jukebox. Will you please thank Bev for it?
Okay, thanks.
Well, you wouldn't believe it. We've got Mensa-rated cameramen, 4 cameramen, and brains, more brains than you could actually stack in the studio, and they still haven't worked out just how to work that camera. All right, Jeffrey, it is Tuesday, and Tuesday normally means jukebox day.
Certainly does, Rad. That's exactly what it is today. But the first letter here is from a lady called Dulcie Grant, and she's asked for... She comes from Glenley, I think, and she's asked for Chariots of Fire. We've got another letter here from a lady in Quorn. Her name is Shirley Hughes, and she also asked for Chariots of Fire. And as far as Quorn, she says, by the way, Quorn is a pretty little town in the Flinders Ranges, which is terrific. Now,
I've got another... Flinders Ranges, Jeff?
The Flinders Ranges, New South Wales, right?
South Australia, Jeff.
Just checking, you see. I'm going to fall for those tricks. I knew that. Now, I got another terrific letter, which is there. If we can see, Simon, it says something of treasure. I said it in a number for me. I also regard it as the most beautiful. I think. Could you ask? I think his name is Bill Bulpin, to play it on trumpet. Here's a picture of Bill Bumpin. Oh, it's very good. Yes, Bill Bumpin will be part of the team today. If you've got, bless you, Bill. If you've got a request, here's the address to write to. Box 99, easy. Box PO 99, Willoughby, 2068. Let us know what you would like us to play. And in the meantime, for those 2 people, we'll play Chariots of Fire with Bill Bumpin. 2, 3, 4.
Well, that's almost it. This television set is here because with all the metal giants we've got here, they're the photographs. Jenny, that's Jenny. She used to be our assistant floor manager. She's now our floor manager because she worked out how to do it. She actually came across and she just pressed this button and turned on the monitor. That's all it took. Very technical, Jen. Thank you, Jen. There she is. She's not just beautiful, she's brainy as well. All right. So it's called a Canon, Bev. Don't hide over there. It's called a Canon Ion. It was us, it wasn't that.
Yes, it's Canon Ion camera. You can run it through a television set, but just remember to turn it on first.
Turn the monitor on first, and it's got 50 shots.
50 shots each one, and you can reuse them. And it's great for instant, you know, one, lots of pictures of the baby. And you can print from them. It really is quite a good little camera. All you need is $1,300.
$1,300. All right. Do you like that now? Jenny comes with it, by the way. She comes with it. Thanks, Bev, very much indeed. We're good with Canon now. All right. Tomorrow we've got just a great show. Did you enjoy today? Now, come on. Tell us why you really came. You really came to see Bob Buffer, didn't you? Of course you did. See you for lunch tomorrow. Bye-bye now.
Fashions from Grace Brothers City Store, and we choose to fly Singapore Airlines. This has been a National 9 Network production. Peter Blenheim speaking.